Howdy, everybody. Howdy, Texas. And howdy, all those Christian business owners who are pleading for their right to be able to give to any organization that they choose. Because today, October 28, 2021, was a momentous day. We got our day before the Supreme Court of Texas. And we're standing now before the Capitol. You can see the flags. You may even be able to hear them. Flags waving in the background. And I think, yep, you can see them back there. And so we have had a chance at Supreme Court of Texas this morning. We got there early, and our case didn't come up until 11 a.m. So if we got you the text about watching it at 10 a.m., we apologize, but the court had another case before us, before ours was heard. But anyway, we had that, and we had a chance to go to Mass at Holy Mass at St. Mary's Cathedral and to give thanks to God, and some time of worship and praise and thanksgiving. And so I want to thank our Lord Almighty for the grace to be here today and for this opportunity to serve Him and do what's good for all His children. So Mike, tell us what happened today.
Well, today was just hearing the both sides of the case is the way it works. There are 9 justices, 7 were present, and we get 20 minutes. The plaintiff, our attorney, gets 20 minutes. The defense gets 20 minutes, and then a rebuttal of, I want to say it was 5 minutes, if I'm not mistaken, for the plaintiff's attorney at the end. And what was very interesting that struck me is that every single justice, except for one, had a question of the defense attorney. And it boils down to, well, you want the plaintiff to appreciate or to believe that you had it in your intentions not to ever, put this in force, and that you were going to abide by the state statute and what have you. And of course, he didn't have an answer, but that is really what came up.
He did try to answer for the city, but they would never do that, though.
They would never do that. And so that was almost a chuckle on my part. And of course, we spent a good amount of time talking about the standing and whether or not the new statute, the Chick-fil-A law that Abbott signed, says any person. It doesn't say any purple person, black person, female, injured person, non-injured, any person. And so we spent a good amount of time on that. And then the last area, we talked about the retroactiveness of that law. It came into effect September 1st, 2019. And so this restriction of Chick-fil-A from the airport took place in March of 2019. Then later on, Abbott signs the new legislation in September 1st. We spent a lot of time on how do we retro it, our attorney did a good job there, Jonathan Mitchell, basically saying that no, the contract still stands, but what they have to do is they have to change it from September 1st.
Right. So, Mike Konofsky, myself, Patrick Von Dolan, 3 other plaintiffs, Daniel Petrie, Kevin Cater, Brian Greco, all are plaintiffs on this case, and the case is a religious liberty case. A religious liberty case because this is a time where back in March 2019 that we found the city council at that time voted on a concession contract for the San Antonio International Airport. That's a publicly owned facility. And because of that, that concessionary contract was passed, and then an amendment was proposed by then Councilman Roberto Trevino, City Council District 1, San Antonio, in which he said that Chick-fil-A does not comply with the city's non-discrimination ordinance that was passed on September 5th, 2013. And therefore, because Chick-fil-A's values do not are not consistent or comply with the city of San Antonio's values after the non-discrimination ordinance was passed, therefore we need to restrict them from the concessionaire's contract and remove them and not allow them to take possession of any space in the San Antonio airport. And then on top of that, City Council District 8, Manny Pelayas, added in there another fallacious comment in which he said, the last thing I want to have happen is the first thing when somebody walks off a plane is to see the symbol of hate, Chick-fil-A, in the San Antonio airport. And how reprehensible that comment is. That's completely aimed at Christian business owners. Mr. Candy, who founded the Chick-fil-A, was a devout Baptist Christian, and he had a sincerely held belief not only in God but also in his provinces and his his statutes that were good for people, meaning marriage between one man and one woman. And because he believed in marriage between one man and one woman and his deeply held religious beliefs, that Roberto Trevino and Manny Pelaez, and then the city council voted to restrict Chick-fil-A from the San Antonio airport and broke the contract negotiations with Paredes and Lagadati, and who was the concessionaire who was chosen. So what's crazy about that is even contract law was broken. Another broken city process at San Antonio, in which they pass something and they break that process by restricting one particular restaurant out of that concessionaire slate. So this case was about Mr. Candy's ability at that time, Chick-fil-A, their ability to give to two Christian organizations, namely Fellowship of Christian Athletes, FCA, and the Salvation Army. And because those two organizations are considered to be Christian, they wanted to restrict Chick-fil-A from the San Antonio airport. So it's twofold. One, because the values of Chick-fil-A did not, or Mr. Candy actually in this case, did not comply.
Kathy.
Mr. Kathy, thank you, Mr. Kathy, thank you. And I'm thinking about lunch and dessert, but Mr. Kathy's, his deeply held religious beliefs and marriage between a man and a woman, and second was Chick-fil-A's giving to two Christian organizations that was offensive to Manny Pelaez and Roberto Trevino and the rest of the city council, the mayor, Nuremberg, and they voted against it. Majority of them did. So we find here this is nothing other than religious discrimination, and in this case of Christian business owners. So if you want to have an opportunity to run your business as you see fit, then we need your prayers and support for this case, because this isn't just for all citizens. This is also for citizens who have business owners, and namely Christian business owners who are being discriminated against. And so
it truly is a constitutional issue. It truly is, and it's unbelievable it could take place, but it did.
So we want to thank Mr. Cathy and his beliefs that continue to live and will always eternally through the grace of God, that marriage between a man and woman is what's truly good for society. And as we, with the San Antonio Family Association, our whole purpose is to educate on the fact that the family is the building block of society. And that's why our goal is to protect, defend, and promote the family in the public square. And we educate and we also advocate. In this case, we're educating and advocating. And for the board members of the San Antonio Family Association and one non-board member of the San Antonio Family Association is our plaintiffs in this lawsuit. And we ask for your prayers and support. Pray for the Supreme Court of Texas, that the justices, that they exercise prudential judgment and wisdom to make the right choice, and they'll best serve all people. In this case, we'll serve all business owners. And this is not just a case about Chick-fil-A. This is a case for all Christians, all people who love freedom, all patriots, and people who want freedom, especially any business owner who wants to be able to freely give to any nonprofit organization they want to without retribution from the city or any other entity, government entity, when they go to apply for a city contract. What else do you have to say, Mike?
That's about it. That sums it up. We're not going to get any kind of a response for 1 to 3 months is what we've heard. So we don't expect any kind of ruling yet, but we need your prayers.
So I want to thank our attorney, Jonathan Mitchell, former Solicitor General of the state of Texas, and co-counsel as well. I want to thank Senator Brian Hughes and State Representative Matt Krause for the sponsors in the Senate and State House, respectively. Thank them for passing this, and thanks to Jonathan Sines and Texas Values for pushing it through the legislature. And thank you for all the San Antonio Family Association members and support the board for this exercising fortitude in the face of scrutiny and to do what's right and good. So flash back to September 5th of 2013. San Antonio Family Association set a record in the city of San Antonio, recruiting over 800 people to come down and oppose the city's non-discrimination ordinance. That was an unjust ordinance that gave special class protections to people based on their lifestyle choices, their sexual orientation, their gender identity, and that then brought about religious discrimination, and particularly aimed at Christians. And because most Christians hold a deeply held religious belief of marriage between a man and a woman, and that used to be the Constitution in the state of Texas as well. And so we still stand here today protecting marriage and defending it, and because that's what's truly good for man and woman and for society. On September 5th, 2013, one of Mayor Nuremberg's first votes on city council, as he was then the newly elected city councilman of District 8, he voted for the non-discrimination ordinance that pitted people against each other, gave special class protections to certain segments of class of people based on their lifestyle choices, and discriminated against majority of San Antonians and majority of Texas, majority of all people. And because more than 60% of residents of San Antonio claim to be, have said that they're Christian and are reported to be Christian, and that's a direct in the face of that. So we filed this lawsuit on September 5th, 2019, after the legislature passed it, and Governor Abbott, thank you, Governor Abbott, for signing it into law. He signed it into law with a Chick-fil-A sandwich by his side. And on September 5th, 2019, we filed a lawsuit on the anniversary of the passage of the unjust non-discrimination ordinance, filed a lawsuit against the city of San Antonio for the banning of Chick-fil-A from the San Antonio airport, the public airport.
Yeah, and the connection, if you're not following, the connection is an unnatural law of the NDO led to a unconstitutional action kicking Chick-fil-A out of the airport. That's what happens. So when you start breaking God's law, an unnatural law, all of a sudden has a rippling effect, and that's what took place here. That's the connection.
So we still stand since September 5th, 2013. Since before that, we're in the 10th anniversary of the San Antonio Family Association, and celebrating 10 years. We ask for your prayers and support. You can go to SanAntonioFamilyAssociation.com to find out more information about the organization, and to support us financially and with your prayers, and send in prayer requests and as well. And so sign up for our newsletters and text messages as well, SanAntonioFamilyAssociation.com. And we stand true from September 5th, 2013 to September 5th, 2019 to today, October 28th, 2021. And we stand for what's truly right and good for marriage between a man and a woman, for business owners' conscience rights to be able to be exercised, for everybody's freedom and liberty. And so with that, we'll sign out from the Capitol, where you can see the Goddess of Liberty, the statue on top of the state Capitol, and where we stand for liberty ourselves in this shadow of, in the sunlight, I should say, in the sunlight before the Goddess of Liberty in the state Capitol, over the Six Flags of Texas. You can see those icons back there with also the American flag and the Texas flag. So may God bless you. May God bless Texas. May God bless marriage, and encourage people to do what's right and good. So thank you very much for your time and attention. Next time we'll be here, you said a month to 3 months, right? 1 to 3 months is probably when the decision is going to come down. So yes, we'll keep you up to date. And we'll determine then whether we're back here for another report, or do that if they issue it without a public hearing. Right. And so with that, find out more information again, SanAntonioFamilyAssociation.com, and have a great day. May God bless you.